All right, guys, we're gonna start on the teeth of the skull. Just before we can start on that, I'm actually going to bring out this screen a little bit, where I can have a better look at the teeth because I blew it up. If you do look online, I do have a color-coded grid to my liking to just to change the grid how I would like it. All right. So we're going to start on the teeth over here. And how I do the teeth is I count the teeth to make sure I have that many teeth in correctly into the square. And I'll show you what I mean by that in just a second. Let me get my other screen with my teeth in position. All right, so if we look at the teeth right here, get my glasses. If we look at the teeth right here, there's two of them right there. So we are going to make sure that we put the teeth in the correct spots. Give me 1 second, guys. Let's see. If we look at the teeth right here in the back, because I like to start with those back teeth first because I find that they are more correct. And I'm gonna fix my X here because I don't feel like this X part right here is correct. Okay, yeah. So um, so yes, it is. So teeth don't come quite toward the middle of the square. It kind of goes a little in the middle of the square. Okay, so it kind of goes a little to the right of the middle of the square. So we're gonna make sure that. One thing I do make sure is the teeth are kind of on a slant. So, like I said, right now, it's going to be just leaving a rough skeleton part of them. And that is what I'm going to do. I think the teeth are going to come a little bit higher. Okay, so that first tooth is kind of like coming on an angle. And it's just an angle just like that. And then the next tooth, too, is also coming in on an angle. I think this one's more. I'm trying to make sure that angle goes right into that corner. I think it's more tall. More right there. Okay, so that first tooth is going to go somewhere right there. And the second tooth, same height, is going to go roughly somewhere there. It might have to push this part just a tad. So that is the top teeth at that top. Now, if we look here, we do have a bottom tooth. This is not coming quite as because the teeth over here are a little bit more shallow, I guess you can say. It's a little bit more shallow. I do like to give me those lines again for guidance. This back tooth does kind of come under on an angle too. Like it's going to come underneath this tooth and then just a little bit over. So that's the bottom tooth. Then this tooth, believe it or not, this tooth kind of comes a little bit underneath this line. And then this tooth goes just a tad in this area right here. Not much over, but just a little bit over. That is where that tooth goes right there. All right. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teeth that are going to go right here through the top. So make sure you get 7 teeth in that box. Not 10, not 15, not as many as you want, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So make sure you get the 7. Okay, so coming a little bit on an angle. This tooth is going to be right here. This part needs to be a little. I'm going to come and make this a little. That tooth is going to go roughly there. And this one comes a little bit shorter. So make sure you put these teeth at the right height. And then what I'm going to do with this one, because it's not as big either, it's right before our canine, like that tooth right after our canines. No, our canines are a little bit further. I don't know what tooth it is. Then we have this tooth that's right here. That's going to be a slightly taller. And it does come all the way to, and it does start right here on that line. But when you come right over here to put it on the other side, just know that's where that is starting to angle up. So make sure you angle up. All right. Then this tooth right here, a little bit crooked, like it's a little bit going on top of this tooth, and it's a little bit above that line. And it's kind of bows out on both sides. So, but it needs to go up because that's what it is doing. Then we have another tooth over here that's coming a little bit higher up than this tooth. So that's what I'm going to do with that. I'm just drawing the shape of the teeth. This tooth back here is kind of going the off of the grid with the skull. So that is what my tooth is going to do over here. It's going to go off of the grid with that. Okay, and then this next tooth kind of goes on an angle. A little bit, maybe a little bit higher than that tooth beside it. This teeth is going to even come down in an angle. It does come down right here, but it also does have a deep shadow right there. So I'm going to make sure that mine has that deep shadow when I do that part. This one could be a little bit wider. Let's see. This one's going to kind of come. Let's see. So this would be a little bit. And I have this tooth right here. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 6. It did have 17. These are 2 teeth to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that one. 7. And then like I said, this one kind of comes this one right here a little bit. So I need to make it's here a little bit closer to the line right here. So I mean it dips down a little bit, but not much because these teeth are going to be really on that line. So you might not come down as far. All right, so then now I'm gonna go to this tooth, which this tooth is mostly underneath this one, but it could be a little bit wider. And then we have this tooth that kind of goes sandwiches itself in between these teeth, but it comes a little bit lower into the gums or the jaw or the mandible, whatever you want to call it. It comes a little bit lower. Then this one is under this one, kind of curving in like that. And then underneath the bell-shaped tooth, we do have a tooth that goes here. Yes. And then we have a tooth here. Maybe not that wide. And we have a tooth here. And we have a tooth here. And then, of course, this is going to be our last tooth. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. The next thing I'm going to draw is I'm going to draw like this part where the two jaws meet. That is what I'm going to draw next. So if we look into this part right here, it kind of goes into this part just a little bit. Then it's going to bell out to this side. It's going to come pretty close to that point, but it's not going to go all the way up that point. That's what it's going to do. And then it kind of right here where it is here, it kind of like bells up a little bit. So that is what we're going to do. And then after it bells up, it's going to go through the middle part right here, like right above the center. And then it's going to come down like right there. So that is that part. Actually, I think this part can come a little bit wider. So that is what I'm going to do. Reestablish that petal. So if I come off the middle, pretty close to that. I think it does more of that. Okay. There's more of that. And then this part is going to come more or less. Okay, so that's basically where that, I guess you could say the hole at the bottom of the skull is going to be. The next thing I would do is I would come and I would start drawing a lot of these shadows. That's what I would do. Which I did find out like there is a petal that does Like it kind of cuts off right here. Kind of just like ends up into this like petal right here. So there is a petal right there. And then there's that petal is like behind it. All right, so now I'm going to draw these little shapes of the shadows. Again, just be very observant. And then I will come in there, and I know there's a shadow right here that's going to come pretty dark. And that's that. Look at that. And then the line where our skulls meet, like it meets in that area, is going to be in B1. So I will make sure that I go and put this little line right here. And you look in the picture, it kind of comes right, like it starts really and truly like in this, and then it kind of starts, coming down the line. And it's going to get lost in this X right here, where this little part right here, and then branch off like that a little bit. Basically, being on this line, it's going to come behind this rose. It's going to follow this line. You come and put that line right there. So that's where that looks like a fracture line, but it's actually where the skull fuses. So that is what we're going to put it right along this line. Goes in the center, so it means this peak right here is going to go up higher, higher, and it's right here, and it's going to be. There you go. And then it's going to make it a little zigzag. Okay, and I think from there I will be happy to start going to add all of my shadows and using my blender. So, with that being said, is that pencil sharpener I was looking for? So now you're can go in with all of your B pencils, or remember, if you can control your hand pressure, you can just use a 6B pencil. So when I come in here to start shading, I start picking a spot that I would like to start with that blender or something like that. Might come and start removing lightly some of these X's off of the rows if I so choose, because now I'm trying to see what it looks like. And remember, we are trying to use the sides of our points. I really need to find my fancy. Okay. So I'm going to start adding this shadow right here. I will say I think I need to come up and move this part right here. I think this part needs to be moved over a little bit, because that. Okay. And yeah. All right. So I do know I have to like fade away this line right here, because we really don't see a line right here. So I'm going to start from this line, and just like how we did that gradual blending like we did with the sphere, you're going to do that with the rose. And again, work in small sections. You're defining that edge, but you're not defining that edge with a line. You're defining that edge with a shadow. So make sure that you give me some nice shading. And I'm really laying down my pencil. Matter of fact, this is how I'm holding it to give myself control. And that is what you're going to do. Remember, you need a clean side and you need a dirty side of your blender. And then you're just going to come in there and you're going to start defining edges with that blender. This is also too where you're going to find that your eraser can be a drawing tool too. So if I come in here and I start defining these edges, I'm going to show you what I mean by that. If I start coming in here defining these edges that I want to keep and where I want to put that highlight, but it's kind of coming in here where the highlight should be, then grab your eraser on an edge or something like that, and then go and erase where you just put that, and you'll get a nice little highlight that you need right there. Also too, it looks like this part is a little bit darker to really define that edge. So maybe I will go here now. That's where I'm going to start putting that little bit of a curve of what the rose petals have over there. You can also, when I come back, we'll also have some different blenders that you can absolutely try. And again, if you notice you're going right here, you'll notice that has like these little, like a little right there, so like a little like a swoosh or something. Do that little swoosh with your eraser. Don't forget to come back and clean your edges of your erasers too. And then like right here, finding that my blender is coming a little in here, so then I'm just going to come and define the edge of that petal again. And let's see. Sorry, guys, I'm just looking. It does go really dark in this corner of this rose right here. So I'm going to make sure I go dark with my corner. So now you're just going in here and you're lightly applying that shading where you need to put that shading and start defining edges. But you're making your lines to start disappearing. And I think I'm going to here, so I'm going to kind of take some of that off right there. And I think I did that first part of that rose pretty good. Don't forget to clean, like you can absolutely clean it over. And if you need to kind of just take some of that graphite off, because you are going to be picking up a lot of graphite, and just go clean your blender. I can't find my eraser. Is it, did I put it? No, but I found 8 erasers, so I guess I will be happy with that. Just like I told you before, you can absolutely erase the graphite off of your blender too if you find that you're getting a little too much of that graphite on there. And then from here, guys, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to add shading just where it shows that I need to do the shading. That is what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to start putting in that shading. And I will define the parts that I need to define with my blender. Again, using different types of hand pressures and wherever I need to put that blending is where I'm going to go in and put that blending. And then I'll use that clean in. If I need to kind of soften it, I will come in there and I will soften. I need to find my better eraser. There we go. This part right here, the edge of this petal right here is really defined by a shadow. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to redefine that edge with the shadow. And be patient when you're doing this. And just be patient. So just go and start adding the value that you need to add, and you're just going to keep adding it. We know that it's going to go very dark in this corner right here, so we're going to make sure that it goes very, very dark in that corner. Like it kind of black really defines the edge of this shadow. It kind of comes down at an angle because we do have a shadow there. Do watch out for the glare. You see, you're going to just go and put in these dark areas. And if you need to go and darken up in some areas, like right here, if I, like I'll go and adjust wherever I need to adjust in order to keep adding that. And I'll even use, I'm hoping today I am coming by school today because I do have to come pick up some stuff and drop off some stuff. So I will leave out some of these different blenders that we can work on tomorrow. Really, if you need to finish this part, we can finish it. And and you can also leave those little bit of details like the little edges of the rose and all that. But just very patiently go in there, controlling your hand pressure now. Go in there and start defining these edges. It's like this petal is gonna come in here, so that's what it is. Now I'm gonna start erasing lines where I don't need lines. Giving myself my rose some soft lines wherever it needs soft lines. And I'm just really, really, really controlling my hand pressure. And really defining a lot of these edges now just with, let's see, just with hand pressures. I think I need to go up with this. And then I'm also adjusting lines wherever I need to adjust lines. Just wherever I feel like I need to adjust a line, I'm going to adjust a line. Let's see. This is going to like this. Pour about with my eraser. Don't get those cap erasers. You can absolutely carve out of your shading with those cap erasers. So don't be afraid to go get a cap eraser and you can carve out some of your stuff. Like you start carving out like wherever you might have overblended. Like I think I kind of overblended right here and I kind of lost my peak of this. Here's more gentle. It's a lot more gentle. There we go. There we go. And then we have a little bit here, and then here, because it's on top of that is a um, much more, I guess you could say, a gentler shading. And then I'm gonna come right here and just smooth it out wherever I need to smooth it out. Add wherever I need to add. And remember to tap something. Just had it. Remember, if you go too dark, it's better to tap it out than it is to actually go and put harsh erasing. Let's see, how is this area? Because this area is actually lighter than this area. So the edge needs to be defined. Into keep using my granite. And then that's going to be the highlight. Okay. Yeah, then this part right here is going to be darker. Too much right there. Trying to make sure that I see where this petal is coming in and stopping. And that is working like that. Okay. So yeah, now, like I said, that's all we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to make sure I'm just happy with the way that this is coming out. So right here on this peak, where that shadow would be this part. This is actually going to be lighter. So I'm going to lighten that up just a little bit. Let's see. And it's right here. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to use a clean end of my blender to kind of just a little bit. And softly. And also too, you can also softly erase. That will help too. I'm using a lot of my clean in here, but that is what I'm going to do. And I think I need to kind of soften up this part here. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm looking at this one. I'm sure I see the edge of this petal. It's lost back there. lightly, I mean, I'm talking about barely touching the paper, erasing. I do know I'm gonna have to go and fix this area, but now I'm gonna start working square by square on how to do that shading. And then right here, it comes extremely dark. I even want to define this little ever so slightly of a peak right here of this petal, and I can do that. That's this area right here, and I can actually go and carve in that. And it's going to go really, really dark. And I'm really and truly just using a 6B pencil to do all of this. It's just controlling your hand pressure. I did just order a whole bunch of 6B pencils, even though I know I have some in my cabinet there. And this is the pencil that we're going to go through the fastest. I use my blender to create that area. I'm actually going to color a little bit in the next square. It's just to help me get ready and knowing what I have to do in that next square. See, I'm going to come in really dark because it's really, really dark here. So I'm going to come in really, really dark. It's going to come in dark here. It's like it's really defining those edges. So I'm going to define those edges. And then we'll just use the dirty end of our blender to define that. So now you're basically just working square by square, maybe leading up a little bit in the square before it just to start to do that. And that is what you're going to do. Pick some of this right here and just use my blender to kind of blend it in. I'm going to make it a little bit darker than anything else around it. Because it's like it's dark. Like you could barely see it. So then I want to barely see mine. And come in here really with some more and do that. And like I said, you can use like different blenders to help you define different edges. I mean, these are not built to last very long either. So if by the time we do our celebrity drawing and you're like, Ms. Gerald, I need a new blender, I already know that I'm going to know that. So you don't, I mean, I'm asking you not to destroy the blenders, but I'm just saying I know that you're going to probably need another blender, especially with y'all sharing the same blender. This round does have some extra blenders on her desk. And you can get a little container to keep that blender if you so choose to get a blender from her. And you can keep that blender in your cubby. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to work just square by square and getting using my blender to really carve out and me to go in here and really create these edges that I really want to create with the shadows. Taking my time. If I need to give myself a break, I'm going to give myself a break. I'm going to walk away. Well, not walk away, because I mean, I know you can't technically walk, but walk away. But I am absolutely going to give myself, maybe I might need to stand up, just put my pencil down for a second, because this can get a little, as I say, tedious. So, especially here, this edge. Go ahead and carve this part. Make sure you do not overblend. Am I happier with that? I think I am. I think I am a little bit happy. Here. Yes. Yeah. Okay. One of the things I will show you, those who would like to, when we do that, it's called an eraser pencil. It just helps us have better control. It does help us to, I guess you could say, carve out inner shadows a little bit more. And those who show me that they can be responsible with my eraser tools, because this is more from my drawing kits, I'm fun sharing. Okay, now we're going to come and define this edge, because this edge is definitely defined. This edge right here, so I think it's defined, but then it's very much softened. So you have to come in here and do the same thing. You define it, then you soften it. I'm gonna bring it down. So work on this, add shadows wherever you need to add shadows, and just keep working. I'll try to post another one later. All right, guys, thanks. See.